Souls, Bhakti Program Manual, written by His Holiness Dhanavir Goswami Maharaj. And we're reading from chapter number 2, entitled The Relevance of the Bhakti Program. And we're starting on page number 84. And we're on the part called Reinforcements. After years of book distribution, a devotee may change to a different type of devotional service, such as pujari service, temple management, college lecturing, or painting. Although they may continue to distribute books part-time, our movement needs a constantly replenished supply of full-time distributors. Footnote number 4. Number 4. Therefore, we stress so much in the book distribution. Somehow or other, if the book goes in one hand, he will be benefited. At least he will see, oh, they have taken so much price. Let me see what is there. If he reads one shloka, his life will be successful. If one shloka, one word, this is such nice things. Therefore, we are stressing so much. Please distribute book, distribute book, distribute book. Lecture by Srila Prabhupada, January 5th, 1974, Los Angeles. Continuing. Chanakya Pandit says that although austerities are best performed alone and study by two together, fighting a war is best fought by as many as possible. We are always at war with Maya, and to increase or even to maintain a level of book distribution, enthusiastic new devotees are a vital necessity. Footnote number 5. One thing, if we are not very careful to always stick to the point of regulative principles and purest standards of high living, then everything will spoil very quickly and the whole show will be a farce. So impress this point in your preaching for training the younger devotees. They will follow your example in all respects. I think your idea to canvass the youth groups and colleges in England is a good proposal. So do it nicely in cooperation with Dayananda and the others there. And I am sending Keshava there to England soon to organize the book distribution and traveling Sankirtan party. So you know him. Now you help him very seriously to increase these two programs, because I think especially that England is the best field in the world for distributing our books, as good or better than USA. So I want that you all should be very active to increase the scope there. Keshava is the recognized expert in these fields, so you take direction from him how to do it, and you preach wherever you go throughout the British Isles, and make this traveling SKP a great success, a greater success than it is now in your country. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Revati Nandana, 2nd April 1972. Heading, Fulfilling Srila Prabhupada's Desire. When Srila Prabhupada first came to America, he gave lectures at Lions clubs, universities, and yoga centers, but it wasn't sufficient. Footnote number 6. At the present moment, the entire world is in a dangerous position under the spell of a godless civilization. The Krishna consciousness movement needs many exalted, learned persons who will sacrifice their lives to revive God consciousness throughout the world. We therefore invite all men and women advanced in knowledge to join the Krishna consciousness movement and sacrifice their lives for the great cause of reviving the God consciousness of human society. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.10.6 purport. Continuing, people hear once and go away. He wanted a place where people could come for regular association and live in training. Number 7. Anyway, the Europeans, Americans, some of them have joined. Still, You require many thousands because, pardon me, one second. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is Prithivite Ache Yata Nagar Adi Gram. He wants to spread this Krishna consciousness movement, not in this city or that city, but Nagar Adi Gram. Just like here, we have opened a center in Gandhigram. But in Bombay, such hundreds and thousands centers can be opened. It is so big city. Similarly, there are other cities. Lecture by Srila Prabhupada, November 30th, 1974, Bombay. Continuing. He knew that for the success of the movement, he would have to attract full-time preaching devotees. Therefore, he took the risk to contract a storefront at 26 Second Avenue in New York, number 8. I think the boy Terry is God sent. In his past life, he must have cultivated this science of Krishna consciousness, and therefore he has automatically been attracted with this movement. And who knows if all the boys. Yeah, I can do that later. Okay. And who knows if all the boys and girls joining me were not born in by the supreme will of Krishna, just to help me in this great task of distributing Krishna consciousness in the Western world specifically. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to boys and girls, April 21st, 1968. Because he was not continuing, because he was not inclined to leave such an important aspect of his movement to chance, Srila Prabhupada personally established the systematic training program based on the extensive directions left by the Vaishnava saints. Number 9. You mentioned that the Indonesians inside the country are good people. Yes. Try to make local men into devotees. Real business is to convert the local men to become Krishna conscious and carry on the work. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Amoga, December 26, 1972. Continuing. The 9 brahminical qualities and the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava developed by practicing devotional service to Krishna according to the Vedic scriptures. The Bhakti program, which is nothing more or less than Srila Prabhupada's own instructions, is a proven way to organize the training of new devotees. His genius was to furnish quality training for extensive quantities of new devotees. Number 10. Everyone should take everyone should take the Krishna consciousness movement seriously and try to understand it seriously. It is authorized on the Vedic principle. It is not something manufactured or unauthorized. We are opening centers in different parts of the world to give an opportunity for people to understand their real interest. Vishnu, Krishna. That is our mission. Kindly help us and join us. Krishna consciousness, the topmost yoga system. 1. Continuing, heading, bringing economic gains. Generally, when new devotees join the Krishna consciousness movement, they wish to engage their assets directly in the Lord's service. Number 11. This is a practical example of how one should divide his money and retire from household life. 50% of one's money should be distributed to qualified and pure devotees of the Lord. 25% may be given to family members, and 25% may be kept for personal use in case of emergency. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 19.7 purport. Continuing. Though the intensity of the feeling varies from bhakta to bhakta, the genuine emotion to return everything to its true owner is usually prominent. Though sometimes they also offer debts back to the Lord, the balance is, in general, positive. Number 12. Even though he is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, the proprietor of all the planets, he nonetheless says, "Please give in charity to me." Why? It is for our interest. For the sooner we return Krishna's money to Krishna, the better situated we will be. Of course, this may not be very pleasant to hear, but actually we are all thieves, for we have stolen God's property. If one who has something is not gone conscious, it is to be understood that he has stolen God's property. That is the nature of material life. If this is considered thoughtfully, and if one comes to real knowledge, he will realize that if we do not understand God, whose property we are using, whatever we have, whatever we possess, is stolen property. Matchless Gifts 1. Initial contributions from bhaktas will differ according to personal circumstances and the affluence of the country. Number 13. Our society requires millions of dollars for propaganda work, but Krishna has made us financially poor. I think it is good to remain financially poor because always we shall be able to pray Krishna, asking his help to execute his service. If all of a sudden we become very strong financially, Maya may dictate us for sense enjoyment, and we may fall prey to her tactics. Therefore, to remain poor is one of the qualifications for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Himavati, June 14th, 1968. All continuing. Also, temples achieve indirect economic gain by engaging new devotees in preaching activities that raise funds. For instance, new devotees generate income by engaging in literature distribution, membership programs, grant writing, restaurant work, prasadam sales, sales of devotional items, etc. Heading: Strengthening Harinam and the Temple's Evening Program. Bhakti program members participate in temple Harinam parties, and the Bhakti program establishes a regular Harinam party if there isn't one. Number 14. You know that whatever improvement has been made in Los Angeles is due to the Sankirtan party going outside the temple. Madhudwisha and Jayananda have gone to San Francisco, and Tamal has gone to London. So out of the 4 leading boys of the Sankirtan party, 3 are already out. So the remaining ones, Vishnu Janas, presence is needed here. Gargamuni and Stoka Krishna are engaged otherwise. So Vishnu Jana is taking care of the new devotees as well as the Kirtan party. If therefore he goes away, I think that the management here will suffer. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Mukunda, February 8th, 1970. Continuing. Regular Harinam is important for all centers because glorification of the holy names of the Lord is the recommended process for self-realization in this age. 15. This bare head with tilak and this dress, they will know that they are coming directly from the kingdom of God. Laughs. Actually, it is so. They have forgotten God. Otherwise, they would have received these brahmacharis so nicely. In India, oh, You'll be received just like gods with this dress. Hundreds and thousands of people will come to receive you. Yes, that is sufficient. Lecture by Srila Prabhupada, December 1st, 1968, Los Angeles. New bhaktas make Harinam stronger, bigger, and sweeter. 16. Devotee 2. Because our kirtan party now, we go on kirtan, 80 men. We go 2 nights a week with 80 men. Huge kirtan with 5 mridungas and guitars. And we get huge crowd from the whole street. Prabhupada, that will make you triumphant. Go on kirtan. That is very nice. Kirtan and book distribution. This is also kirtan. Morning walk with Srila Prabhupada, March 14th, 1976, Mayapur. All the devotees become enlivened and more become inspired to participate. New bhaktas attend every evening program from the beginning of Sundar Arti to the end of the Bhagavad Gita class. Number 17. Now, concentrate your efforts by bringing our regular program up to the highest standards. That is, holding street sankirtan, holding at regular times of the day very opulent aratrika with prasadam distribution, having classes in philosophy, chanting 16 rounds, etc. This is our strength. If you practice these things now with full concentration and carry on the regular propaganda work, automatically people will come forward for helping, and you will make also devotees there. That is our Krishna consciousness process of regular program. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Chavana, September 22nd, 1972. Being eager to learn, their questions vivify teachers and other audience members. In temples where evening programs are very small or non-existent, the Bhakti program reestablishes this important aspect of Bhakti Yoga as a regular practice. 18. The students must all attend morning and evening arti and classes. If we follow this simple program along with regular Sankirtan, distributing the books and preaching, then there will be no fall down. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Mahamsa, May 2nd, 1975. Heading: Enlivening the Atmosphere. New devotees enliven senior devotees and surcharge the atmosphere with transcendental sweetness, as illustrated in the following pastime from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thus, in the dead of night, the two brothers, Debir Kas and Sakara Malik, went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incognito. First, they met Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that two personalities, Sri Rupa and Sanatan, had come to see him. In great humility, both brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth and, each binding a cloth around his neck, fell down like rods before the Lord. Upon seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers were overwhelmed with joy, and out of humility they began to cry. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to get up and assured them of all good fortune. Both brothers submitted. Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there is none so fallen as us. After hearing the prayer of Dabir Khas and Sakara Malik, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Dabir Khas, you two brothers are my old servants. You have written several letters showing your humility. I can understand your behavior from those letters. By your letters, I could understand your heart. I really had no business in coming to Bengal, but I have come just to see you two brothers." The Lord then placed his two hands on the heads of both of them, and in return, they immediately placed the lotus feet of the Lord on their heads. After this, the Lord embraced both of them and requested all of the devotees present to be merciful upon them and deliver them. When all of the devotees saw the mercy of the Lord upon the two brothers, they were very much gladdened, and they began to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hari, Hari. In accordance with the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, immediately touched the lotus feet of these Vaishnavas, who all became very happy and congratulated the two brothers for having received the mercy of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 1.183 through 220. Subheading: The more the merrier. As relatives joyfully welcome a newborn into the family, new bhaktas inspire senior devotees who are excited to see the expansion of Krishna's transcendental family. Number 19. New devotees are coming. That is a sign of your sincerity. Krishna is sending, and you are distributing over 1,000 BTG per week. That is most encouraging. Maintain this program, and you can be sure that Krishna will give you a new temple very soon. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Bhaktadas, September 25th, 1971. Krishna, as the father of all living entities, yearns for his wayward children to return to his loving shelter. When they do take his shelter, he is delighted to receive them, and his devotees share his pleasure. Number 20. Nalani Kanta. 10 to 15 devotees are 10 to 15 new devotees are doing Sankirtan. Prabhupada. Very good. Nalani Kanta. 10 new book distributors in the last month. Prabhupada. Krishna will give all facilities if we are sincerely serving Krishna. The government gives all facilities to the government servant. The government gives all facilities to the soldiers. When there is fight, there is scarcity of commodities in the civil life, but there is no scarcity among the soldiers. The first consideration, soldiers. Similarly, those devotees who are fighting against Maya, their facility is first concern. They're fighting, trying to save the people from the onslaught of material energy. Guardian Conversation with Srila Prabhupada, June 10th, 1976, Los Angeles. Frequently, older devotees comment that associating with the new devotees reminds them of the ecstasy that originally attracted them to Krishna consciousness. New devotees vitalize a Vaishnava community, as the beginner's thirst to learn and advance stimulates older devotees to preach and set exemplary standards. 21. We have to create the atmosphere of Krishna consciousness and thus create devotees also. I therefore advise you to begin as usual, morning and evening, sitting together, husband and wife, in front of Krishna's picture and chant Hare Krishna and read Srimad Bhagavatam. When I was in Los Angeles, I asked Dayananda to speak, and I was very glad that he speaks very nicely. So he can speak also in the class, and if there is none else there, he can speak to you. So don't feel lonely. Try to understand Krishna consciousness mutually, and this will give you transcendental pleasure. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Nandarani Dayananda, March 29th, 1968. Also, senior devotees strengthen their convictions about Krishna consciousness by marking the dedication of the newer generation. In addition, fresh bhaktas indicate a thriving center. Chanakya Pandit stated, Putrahinam griham shunyam. A home is void without children. Similarly, the temple without new devotees is also void. 22. Association is very meaningful. Therefore, ISKCON tries to perfect one who enters the society. The members of this society should always remember that the society is not like a free hotel. All the members should be very careful to execute their spiritual duties so that whoever comes will automatically become a devotee and will be able to return back to Godhead in this very life. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.8.30 purport. Subheading, Special Souls. Those who are now recruited into the Krishna consciousness movement may be very special souls, already advanced in devotional service from previous lives. Krishna sends his devotees to propagate the Sankirtan movement. Therefore, we may be associating with some extraordinarily advanced devotees. Let me serve
I'm thinking of that. So,
Sure.
is it your code or
It may be the one that you let me.
yeah, I kind of got off juice. I ended up taking one from downstairs and that bag. That bag's actually not just but that was not a hard problem. I like them.
Let's talk soon.
It's gonna take it for a whole running basis.
I don't know. We can talk about it later. Thanks.
Sorry.
Those who are now recruited into the Krishna consciousness movement may be very special souls, already advanced in devotional service from previous lives. Krishna sends his devotees to propagate the Sankirtan movement. Therefore, we may be associating with some extraordinarily advanced devotees, and we must be careful to respect them properly. Srimati Radharani, Krishna's topmost devotee, sets the standard for appreciating devotees, as she considers the service of even the most neophyte devotee as being much greater than her own service. When devotees follow this mood, the result is a Vaikuntha atmosphere, or an atmosphere that is free from anxiety. 23. I am very pleased to learn that you have several new devotees with you, and the temple has been completely renovated. It is a very nice house, so simply make it a palace for Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and that will be the perfection of its utilization, and you will become perfect and happy by this work. Please continue your work in the, quote, Bhakti Yoga Society at the university. The students cannot be overestimated as our best prospects. The new growth of Tulasi is testimony to your sincere devotion because she will grow, only grow and flourish in an atmosphere of Krishna consciousness. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Vamana Dev, November 12, 1970. Heading: Beautiful Bhaktas and Bhaktins. New devotees radiating ecstasy are excellent advertisements for more new devotees. Just as money attracts money, new bhaktas will attract more new bhaktas. 24. For example, if somebody is named Robert, his new name may be Bhakta Robert. In general, if he is not initiated, a devotee adds Bhakta or Bhaktin before the other name until they are initiated later. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Satsvarup, December 17th, 1971. Everyone desires to be part of a winning effort, and nothing can compare to triumphant new devotees. 25. Those who have joined the Krishna consciousness movement were beautiful before they joined, but now that they have become Krishna conscious, they look especially beautiful. Therefore, the newspapers often describe the devotees as bright-faced. Their countrymen remark, "How joyful and beautiful these boys and girls have become." At the present time in America, many of the younger generation are confused and hopeless, and therefore they appear morose and black-faced. Why? Because they are missing the point. They have no aim in life. But the devotees, the Krishnites, look very beautiful because of the presence of Krishna. Teachings of Queen Kunti. 22. Sometimes an interested person prefers to speak to newer devotees rather than senior ones because they feel they can better relate to a person who is fresh from the material world. Equipped with vivid recollections of recent material distress, new devotees can often express themselves more effectively to others who are undergoing similar experiences. 26. We have practical experience of this with our students in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Before becoming students, they were dirty looking, although they had naturally beautiful personal features. Due to having no information of Krishna consciousness, they appeared very dirty and wretched. Since they have taken to Krishna consciousness, their health has improved, and by their following the rules and regulations, their bodily luster has increased. When they are dressed with saffron-colored cloth, with tilak on their foreheads, and beads in their hands and on their necks, they look exactly as if they have come directly from Vaikuntha. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another advantage is that when a person becomes a devotee, his or her spiritually minded circle of friends and relatives may also gravitate toward the discovery. Subheading: Give me 10 men. Quote, give me 10 men who are stout-hearted men, and I'll soon give you 1,000 more, from a famous American war song. The Bhakti program builds a strong frontline preaching force, increasing the number of devotees meeting the public through Harinam and book distribution. Consequently, the effect is even greater than numbers show. A center with 20 devotees may have 5 that go out daily to interact with the public. With 5 more bhaktas going out each day, the front line increases from 5 to 10, representing a 100% increase in personnel engaged in outreach programs. Enthusiastic new devotees love to make friends with people and invite them to visit the center. They are very personal. They like to take names and addresses and write to people they meet on Sankirtan. They can open new preaching frontiers, start centers in new cities, and stir a city or nation to realize the importance of Krishna consciousness. Subheading: Let it not happen. In the early 70s, many people would ask us, aren't there any old people in your movement? Let it not happen that we are asked, aren't there any young people in your movement? We do not want to be the last generation of devotees. It is our duty to ensure that there are new generations, not only from children produced through the Grihastha ashram, but also by transforming the Nitya Buddha conditioned souls. 27. So long as a devotee is not initiated, he should have bhakta before his name. If he is a male, bhaktin. If she is a girl. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Nityananda, December 17th, 1971. Heading: Welcoming newcomers and relieving confusion. Being unfamiliar with Vedic culture, most who join our society do not consider it their birthright to become devotees of Krishna. Generally, they approach in an inquisitive mood or in the mood of desperately searching for an oasis in the material desert. Number 28. And it is very encouraging to hear that so many new devotees are coming. This is an indication of your sincerity. The more sincere you are in pushing this movement forward, so Krishna will reciprocate and send you many new devotees. Thank you very much. So give them protection and instruct them so that they may not go away. We recruit devotees with great difficulty, so they must be well treated. New men may not always behave so nicely, but we must be tolerant. To train a new man is like training a wild animal to be a pet. Just like the tiger is trained in the circus, and later on they are dancing to the tune of the master. So the point being stressed is training. A preacher should always be tolerant. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Gauda Hari, July 1971. Each center should be able to guide persons interested in experimenting with the lifestyle of Krishna consciousness to a program specifically designed for them. Newcomers must feel welcome in Krishna's house, as the factor of socialization is very important in determining whether one will continue on the path of Krishna consciousness. 29. I am so glad to hear that there are many new devotees there, and they are doing so nicely. All newcomers should be welcomed and well treated. In the beginning, they may be treated leniently, and gradually they will learn. So, out of many thousands of people, one comes to become Krishna conscious. So, it is our duty to help them as far as possible. That is one of our activities. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Damodar, October 3rd, 1971. Having been frustrated in material relationships, people are looking for a different, satisfying personal experience. At Krishna's temples, as in the spiritual abode, all souls are welcome because all are equally parts and parcels of God, endowed with equal rights to live in his divine kingdom. An incident. Subheading, an incident. In 1974, at the Los Angeles Center, known as New Dwarka, I was once speaking with a guest when I felt the time had come to offer him some prasadam. Unfortunately, I could not find any plates, spoons, or cups, so I found the devotee in charge of opening the utensil cabinet. He said, "No, they should not have any better facilities than the temple devotees." At that time, the temple devotees took prasadam without utensils on pieces of wax paper placed on the floor. I contended that newcomers might find this a bit difficult to accept and that we should give them paper plates and utensils. I lost the argument. When the guest departed, I lodged a strong complaint with the temple president. I proposed that the cabinet keys be taken away from the devotee who would not supply facilities for the guest. The president suggested that not only should we make an arrangement for a new guest to get paper plates and spoons, but we should organize a whole program to facilitate visitors and persons interested in becoming devotees. A few days later, the Bhakti program began with my lowly self as the director. 30. Whoever joins us, they are not under any obligation. Our only tie is love of Godhead. It should be our definite policy that nobody is ill-treated, that he may go away. We recruit a person to join us after spending gallons of blood. Everyone comes for reformation. You cannot expect everyone to be perfect. Rather, it is our duty to make everyone perfect as far as possible. So we shall be very much cautious and careful in this connection. Letter from Srila Prabhupada to Tamal Krishna, August 23rd, 1973. In Sanskrit, a guest is called Atiti, or one who comes unexpectedly. It is Vedic hospitality to make all guests feel very pleasant and comfortable at one's home. Even if an enemy visits one home, he should be treated so nicely that he forgets he is an enemy. King Jarasandha hosted Sri Krishna, Bhima, and Arjuna for 28 days and nights, despite the fact that they had come to fight with him. During the daytime, Bhima and King Jarasandha fought violently to kill each other, but in the evenings found them enjoying fine food and congenial camaraderie together at Jarasandha's palace. Another instance, 5,000 years ago, King Yudhishthira performed a grand sacrifice to establish the glories of Lord Krishna. He invited exalted persons from all over the world to attend this great function and organized an elaborate reception committee. Someone greeted the guests. Someone took responsibility for seating. Another person took charge of cooking, etc. Interestingly, Lord Krishna took the duty to wash the feet of the guests. Since the Lord is absorbed in such a serving mood, the Lord's servants, the resident devotees, should always be ready to properly receive guests who may visit the Lord's temple. Subheading: The Van Test. Prior to the establishment of the Bhakti program, a young man who regularly visited a temple asked if he could become a devotee. At that time, devotees were unable to care for him. Someone told him to sleep in the temple van at night and attend temple programs during the day. After 2 weeks, temple authorities decided that the young man was sincere enough to move into the temple. Although on this occasion the candidate passed the test, not all sincere souls would have done so. Many souls may not be ready to meet stringent impediments, but are open and willing to try bhakti yoga. In other words, temple devotees shouldn't impose unpleasant experiences upon devotee candidates as an obstacle test. Bhakti yoga contains enough austerities to challenge newcomers. 4 awesome prohibitions, shocking wake-up times, unusual uniforms, Sanskrit, etc. The hurdles are sufficiently high. In the army, officers brashly berate new recruits to break down their ego. But in the Krishna consciousness society, experienced devotees should be gentle and kind-hearted in guiding new members. Subheading: Relieving confusion. Unfamiliar places, people, and customs can cause confusion. For example, a first-year student may be traumatized by his first day at college, not knowing where to go for class, how to register, and other practicalities. Even a merry amusement park becomes hellish for a lost child. Similarly, Vedic culture with its variegated practices and philosophy can bewilder the unguided seeker. Number 31. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, "All my devotees who go to Vrindavan are generally very poor. They each have nothing with them but a torn quilt and a small water pot. Therefore, Sanatan, you should give them shelter and maintain them." Purport: Following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have constructed temples both in Vrindavan and Mayapur, Navadvip, just to give shelter to the foreign devotees coming from Europe and America. Since the Hare Krishna movement started, many Europeans and Americans have been visiting Vrindavan, but they have not been properly received by any ashram or temple there. It is the purpose of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to give them shelter and train them in devotional service. There are also many tourists eager to come to India to understand India's spiritual life. And the devotees in our temples, both in Vrindavan and in Navadvip, should make arrangements to accommodate them as far as possible. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 25, 183. One major attribute of the Bhakti program is that it gives new devotees a systematic way to learn. To teach mathematics, a child is sent to trained teachers. We wouldn't dispatch them to crowded farmers markets saying, "Ask somebody there to teach you mathematics." that would be haphazard, and the youth probably would become confused and frustrated. Alternatively, nothing reassures new devotees more than knowing that they have a dependable, experienced guide who will answer their questions and help them solve all problems that may arise in their attempt to become a devotee. Bhakta leaders should always think about the welfare of the new bhaktas and how to help them stay in devotional service. A bhakta director is always watching the new bhaktas, thinking about their welfare and whereabouts, and giving them to help them the support they need to advance in devotional service, giving them the help they need, the support they need to advance in devotional service. The Lord explains a comparable technique to Brahma. Matsya kurma vihangama svanyapatyani pushnante tathaham api padmaja. By vision, by meditation, and by touch only do the fish, the tortoise, and the birds maintain their offspring. Similarly, do I also, O Padmaja. Bhagavad Gita as it is, 5.26 purport. Pardon me, 1 second. Thank you very much for joining me. Hare Krishna. If you would like to join us, we'll be reading the book, Fortunate Souls. And please reach out to us on HareKrishnaKC.com if you'd like to participate in the Bhakti program in some way. Fill out our registration form and we can be in touch. Thank you so much.